Hi, this is Tuckog, doing a dual commentary with Zand 101. This is the final round of the CJ Entus versus We Made Fox between Mind for Fox and Skyhigh for CJ Entus. I'm actually really quite a big fan of Skyhigh, and from what I've seen of these games, I've really enjoyed it. And all I can say is I hope that he wins. And this game is being played on Neo Harmony, and I'll hand it over to you, Zan, to go over the players in the map.
Alright, game just starting now, so we're just going to get the colours. As it says, same race matchup. Alright, we're in. Alright, so we have Skyhigh as teal and Mind as blue. So StarCraft really isn't very helpful. Looks I can't tell the differences in positions.
I think 7 o'clock is Skyhigh, and I think the 5 o'clock is Mind.
Oh no, it looks like Skyhigh's red.
That'll make it easier.
That's far easier. Okay. Well, Mind is actually a fairly good answer to Skyhigh.
Oh, I can't read that.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it says, but it looks exciting. Mind is certainly a very solid player across the board. I think he tends to be a little more pretty standard. I mean, I haven't really seen him strike out, do anything creative, do his own thing. He's just a really solid player, really strong across the board, and he has crucial experience in a pro setting that Skyhigh obviously doesn't, as he's a relatively new player. This map is Neo Harmony, which is fairly interesting map. It's got quite a few bridges around the bases, which I think will come into play. TVT, from what little I know, it's actually one of my least watched matches. Tends to be a game mainly about positioning. It looks like Mind building his barracks further out from his base, probably so he can float out and get an easier spot later on. I don't think he'll be going for any cheese. Yeah, looks like his build matches up just about perfectly with Skyhigh.
Both players getting refinery right at the same time.
Yeah, so definitely going straight into factory. TVT generally tends to be about who has tanks, more tanks in a better position, or Mind's in a fairly good position. Wraith use comes down to is a big part of it as well. Wraith dropships, yeah. So it's really a game about positioning and good unit composition, and it tends not to be to be the opposite extreme of to ZVZ. ZVZ is really cutthroat long games, whereas TVT I think tends to go for a bit longer, around the 20-minute mark most times, as far as I've seen. I mean, I've only seen about 10.
And it looks like Mind is actually blocking his choke with that SCV, so doesn't want to let Skyhigh get a scout on his tech, so he might be up to something.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting thing he's doing there. I don't think he had all 3 SCVs on gas, but I can't be sure. He could be going for 2-port Wraiths, or 1 factor into 1-port Wraiths, for example, which is a build you definitely want to scout. You definitely want to know that what they're doing, so you can get those Goliaths out, those crucial Goliaths.
But also especially you want to know if it's coming, because you're going to have to either put an engineering bay to get turrets or an academy to get scan if the Wraiths are cloaked.
Yep, that's true. That's definitely true. Looks like Mind pulling that SCV away. Mind setting up for an expansion, so is Skyhigh. So pretty much mirror builds at the moment. No noticeable difference here. But that tends to be the way with most early game same race matchups. They tend to be pretty similar.
Sorry, my second point was I forgot, but it was going to be that it might force you to get an academy or an eBay earlier than you usually would, because you're not going M&M generally in a TVT. matchup. It's more mech.
Yeah, so you definitely, if you don't know what's going on, you're definitely going to want to get an academy if your barracks can't get there in a good time to spot, just to get that scan out. And that can also work in your favor as well if you are going those wraiths, because you won't have scan to see the cloaked wraiths. Looks like double fact going down for both both players, Mind and Skyhigh. Yeah, like I was saying,
Armory going down for Skyhigh now.
Armory going down for Skyhigh, and another factory from Mine. So he's going 3 factory build, which is pretty aggressive. Skyhigh has to get that Armory down for Goliath because he actually doesn't, at this point, really know what's going on. That could be beneficial for him later on because it will mean he'll have earlier upgrades, which can play a big part, but then again, Mine looks like he's going to have more troops out early. 3 factory push is actually quite an aggressive one, I believe.
I'm not quite sure if he's actually spotted. And I think Mind, I think Skyhigh actually cancelled his armory and put a supply depot down. But I'm not quite sure.
He could be doing that. Seeing that he doesn't need it. Oh, another aspect about this map is that the natural is exposed at 2 sides. There is a small choke and a rather large choke, which is one of the reasons why it's actually 70% favored towards Zerg versus Protoss, because those Ling Run guys are so deadly. But I think that'll mean in this matchup that Vulture play will become pretty essential. If you can sneak some Vultures in when tanks are out or something like that, and get a
Blackie gang war.
Mine forced to retreat because of Skyhigh's superior forces. But yeah, if you can get those Vultures in and do a little bit of harassment, you'll definitely get an advantage. And we saw in the previous game that of Skyhigh versus Kiki that his Vulture play is pretty impressive. He's smart with them. Although his unit's getting a little caught out of position there, and his superior numbers not really counted for much, as Mine's able to pick them off. Lots of factories going down for Mind now. Mine's going about everywhere with the Vultures. I'd like to see Skyhigh's base to know what's going on. Similar amount.
4 factories.
Yeah. Pretty similar again. I think it's going to come down to tank positioning now. Vultures pushing out here, possibly going to put a bit of pressure on Skyhigh, take advantage of the fact that he came out with superior numbers in the previous fight. Can't tell if that barracks is going to be burning now. That could be a problem.
I think it will be.
The problem with sending your barracks out like that is if it does get in the red, and it does burn down. If you do let it burn down, you're going to have to build another one, or you're not going to be able to build factories, I think. My Terran's actually a bit sloppy, so I may actually be wrong there, but I'm fairly sure.
No, I think barracks is a prerequisite for a factory.
Yeah, so it messes up your tech a bit. Vultures are pretty crucial in TVT as well, generally. So if you can get your Vultures up to those tanks and start planting mines next to the tanks, you're going to have to force them to unsiege. Big fight going along here. I think Mind is going to take it. Although, no, it looks like Skyhigh is actually able to take that somehow, probably focus firing. Oh no, reinforcements actually, I believe that would be. So, not a single tank.
Another factory,
yet.
6 factories going up for Mind.
6 factories down for Mind. Yeah, not a single tank yet. That's actually fairly interesting. Probably something to do with the fact that there's not a lot of high ground on this map, and it's fairly open spaces by the looks of things, so it's hard to... Well, the tanks can easily become surrounded by Vultures, I believe, and then the Vultures can just plant mines near the tanks and force them to move or die.
I'd be interested to know if either players have taken the gas of the natural expansion, but the observer is